chosen ones, empaths, and all the genuine souls. These narcissists are weirdos, right? Proper dusty weirdos, right? You see, when you were still involved in a friendship or romantic relationship or whatever, right? When you were still enmeshed with these narcissists, they would have sent friend requests, right? Or they would have tried to follow you on social media, or they would have done something like this while you were still around them, and you wouldn't been unaware. You wouldn't have realized, right, that they've created this fake account and they're already in your thing, in your contacts, in your social media following, in your friends, in your whatever, right? Whatever these social media platforms are. And these profiles may like your posts and engage with you and stuff like that, and really it was them, right? So they were probably using this as a means to test you, to see if you're gonna um to try to figure you out. If it was a romantic relationship, they're probably trying to figure out if you're gonna cheat on them or you're gonna do this, right? But they still use these profiles after you're gone. So what I need you to know is when you've been blocked or they've ghosted you or abandoned you or done whatever, they're very close, right? They're very close. And someone who I spoke to in a session, a few people I spoke to in a session didn't realize this was happening to them, okay? And there was one guy I spoke to a long time ago, and he figured it out, right? We spoke and he figured it out. And then what he done is he started to do posts. He said he didn't want to tell me, but he was doing posts in response to trigger them because he knew that they were watching, right? And I don't advise any of you to do that, because what I need you to know is when a narcissist reaches out, like in any indirect way, any kind of bizarre way, like I'm talking about now, really it's quite weird. When you think about it, it's really strange that they premeditated this whole endeavor for a very long time. So what that puts weight into is their reasons, or the things that they've told you were wrong with you, or the things they tried to make you feel insecure about, or the things they bullied you about, or whatever, right? These things don't hold weight, you see, because they premeditated this thing. So what I'm trying to get at is the big chaotic situation when it ends, the fight, the drama, the chaos, all of that isn't really anything. Really, it's all BS, to be honest. It's all bullshit, right? It just is. Okay, and that's why you need to desensitize. I don't know the right word. That's not the right word, but I mean you do need to desensitize. I think desensitize is right? Like you need to know that this person is highly flawed, right? They're highly flawed, and they're trying to make you hurt and feel inadequate about yourself, and they're trying to instill insecurities in you and make you feel down, so you don't progress, so you don't ascend, so you don't develop, and you stay stuck. That's ultimately they want for you. Then they'll feel like they're ahead. But the point being is they are very close. I'm not telling you to start like, engaging with these fake profiles. The thing is they get supply from anything. They get supply from anything. You block them, they'll get supply. You don't block them, they'll get supply. You see them in the street, you don't look at them, they'll get supply. You look at them, they'll get supply. They're fucking freaks, right? Like, they're just weird. Their whole understanding of what a relationship, and I'm not just talking about romantic, but any type of relationship is about, the foundations and the core essence of what a relationship is about. They don't understand it. They're backward wired. So all I'm saying to you is the narcissist does try to assert this feeling of loss and a death-like experience to you, especially through those of you that have been ghosted, or discarded, or abandoned. They try to instill a death-like experience, right, where you lose someone that was once there. And why I want to assure you, because I've spoken to people this has happened to, you don't want to let them back in if it's going to be a repeat cycle, or you don't even want to let them back in to discard them, right? Like you just want rid of them, right? Because if you throw your whole hopes back into a relationship with this person, right, friend, romantic relationship, whatever, and you're let down, it's gonna hurt you. You see, it's gonna hurt you really deeply because you've re-engaged after everything you've known. And I know many of you have made that mistake, but what I would say is don't beat yourself up about it. It's just, it's a necessary process that you have to go to adjust. It's the good nature in you being forgiving and trying to, but you can't be like that with these people. So what I'm saying is, if you are in despair and you're worried, the narcissist is very close, a lot closer than you think. Okay, they are watching you, right? And really, what I want to try and encourage you, because I spoke to people this has happened to, so many people it's happened to, right? Where the narcissist is watching them or stalking them or, bothering them. I want you to get to the point where you're actually very uncomfortable by the fact that they're doing it. You see? Because a narcissist can trauma bond you and put you through abuse where you start to deem this as some sort of connection. And that's ultimately what they're hoping on. All right? Because I spoke to someone recently as well. They were getting cryptic stuff. In a session I spoke to them. They were getting cryptic stuff happening. The narcissist was doing his cryptic stuff. I said, just please try and stop looking. Because the narcissist will carry on with these endeavors thinking you're looking, right? Because someone said this in the comment section recently. They said the narcissist, they hadn't looked for like ages, then they looked, and the narcissist had been doing all these theatrics, posting this, posting that, and that's what they're doing on their own social media, but behind the scenes they're watching yours, you see. And for those of you that aren't on social media, probably should have said this a lot earlier, because you may have thought, oh, this video is not for you. But for those of you that are not on social media, you may use something like LinkedIn, right? Or even if you're not in social media at all, right? They will, I've spoken to many people where the narcissist has actually took it upon themselves to like literally stalk, right? Literally spy on them. And I used to say in early videos, like, if there was no social media, no phones, basically no social media really, these narcissists would be, hanging in trees, bushes, spying on you. These creatures are like, people, what did they used to call these people? Peeping Toms and stuff, right? But I'm not saying they'll be into that, but they'll be spying on you just for literally spying on you, right? In bushes, in trees. And we'll all be going to work or out in our daily life, and we'll be seeing narcissists hanging in trees trying to keep hidden. Honestly, this is what they would have to do something. By them having this means of social media, it prevents them having to go to these next lengths, right? For example, if there was no social media, there would be a lot higher rates, I think, of literal stalking rather than cyber stalking. You see, there'll be lots higher rates of stalking and bothering people and spying and all of that than nowadays, right? And it's still high, you see. So this is what it is. So I know some of you may find comfort in what I'm saying to you. Okay, I need you to develop an awareness and a knowing, right, that the narcissist is watching, right? You've probably got signs there in your phone, right, in your computer, in your laptop, in your whatever, that they're doing this analysis of you, okay, that they are spying on you and stuff. And that may bring you some comfort for those of you that are in real, I'm not belittling or putting down, but those of you that are in hurt, right, severe hurt, that may bring you some form of comfort, right? But don't let it. This is deep stuff, right? I think it's deep, right? Don't let it get like where you take it as validation, okay? Because it's not. This is weird. It's deranged. And they have sinister agendas for you, right? Many of them realize, like I've said this before, but many of them realize that when you get to a place when you don't desire them, you don't want them. Many of them get the understanding. They gauge it from their spying. They realize that you're not interested. And at that point, they get very, very vengeful, because their whole agenda was you were meant to stay in this position where you always needed them, right? Even if this was a friend, right, or a family member, they felt like you'd always need them. They knew where you were at because you always were dependent upon them, and they had you in your place, right? And to see you thrive after is a crushing blow for them, right? That's what I encourage you all to head towards, right? Encourage you to all to head towards, you thriving again, okay? So please be aware, if it's bringing you comfort, that's because if it's bringing you comfort, having an awareness, or you say after this video, you think, Zion's talking rubbish, I guarantee something will pop up. You'll see something. If it hasn't happened already, they actually reveal themselves, right? And if it brings you comfort in any way, shape, or form, that's something you need to look within about, because it shouldn't, right? You shouldn't want people looking on your life, especially not them, right? You shouldn't want people looking on your life, especially not them, and they're not welcome. They're not welcome to look on your life. What I would say is, if you start trying to do all these things to stop them looking, or you call them out, or you do this, right, it's just going to feed them supply. So you got to think strategically about, I can only advise to some degree, but you got to think strategically, what's the best option for you now, what to do, right? When you figure out that they are watching. So just get a plan of action in place, just get a plan of action in place, because so they are watching. Like I said, if it's bringing you comfort, try to look within and realize it shouldn't bring you comfort. Like this weird kind of hoovery, reverse, baiting, whatever you want to call it. It's weird, right? It's really strange, but they are a lot closer. The narcissist is weird. They like to watch you basically hurt and in pain and suffering. This is what satiates them, and they got probably a high dose of that after your relationship ended. A lot of them, maybe not all, but they probably got a significant amount of supply from that. And the thing is they don't comprehend that you're gonna actually beat this. You're gonna thrive again, right? And that's where you should all just focus on heading towards, right? So don't let these people bait you out or get you into some ritualistic thing where you're doing cryptic stuff back and forth to each other and all that stuff, right? They're weirdos. They're fucking weirdos, right? They are there. They're in your DMs. They're in these followers. They're in these requests. They're in these friend requests. I don't know all these social media platforms, but whatever type of things where you have contacts in them, they're in there. And they cover many, many platforms. So anyway, thank you so much for listening today. I really appreciate the support. Please book a session if you'd like to. I'm available 24 hours across all time zones. If you would like to donate or support to the channel, you can. You don't have to, but if you'd like to, you can. I've just released Beneath the Veil EP. It's on Zion Music YouTube channel. I've just released that, and a little bit before that I released the debut EP Ascension. So both of those are available now for you to check out. It covers the same themes on narcissistic abuse and stuff like that. So all links in the description box below. Oh yeah, please do check out Zion Spiritual as well, and I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.